No, I saw what you said. I saw exactly what you said. Oh, look, I'm not here right now. Please leave a message after the tone. But yeah, no, let me know if the mic cuts out again. If it cuts out again, that'll be it. I'll be done. Right now, who messaged me? Why am I getting messaged? What do they want? 1 second. But yes, let me know if it cuts out, okay? Please. Please. Can you all do that for me? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I needed to hear. Okay. Well, the jail scene's completely broken right now. I kind of hate coming back because I know like everybody who was here before is going to be like, oh, Gene's done. Let me go do my random stuff during the day. And now like only 1/3 of the people are going to come back, but that's okay. I will be happy to have these 1/3 of the people. I promise. I still love you all. Even if there's not as many of you, the love is still the same. The love is still there. Mwah. 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 Why are you not kissing me back? Why has nobody kissed me back? Why is it just me kissing? Does nobody want to kiss me? Is that what it is? Nobody likes me anymore? Fine. You know what? No, I'm leaving. No one wants to kiss me. Vanya, there's literally nothing you can feel bad about here. There's literally nothing you can feel bad about here. Honey, just because you tell me about something does not make it your fault. So yeah. You told me about... Why is the first thing I think of at 9/11? Yeeps. Good night, nap time. Sleep well. Be good. SodaStream. Okay, accidentally got the SodaStream. Great. Fantastic purchase. Have loved it so much. It's been great. And now I have a water bottle, which is also something that I wanted because going to singing lessons without a water bottle, not the best choice. Not the best choice, chat. Genuinely awful choice. They're going to want you to have a water bottle. Well, they're not going to, but your throat is. Especially when you inhale through your mouth, you go, then you dry out. Water is good for the throat. Be good for that throat game. I mean, what? I'm going to stay here. I'm just going to nap. That's a awful, awful idea. Nap time. And what world is this the stream you sleep in? Why don't you sleep here? Just water before you leave the house? No. No, you need to be drinking a lot more water than that, Vanya. You need to be drinking water all day. All day, the whole day, okay? What do you mean you people sleep here? Chat, raise your hand if you've slept in my stream right now. This is very important to me. Raise your hand if you slept in my stream. What? How? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? How? Okay, well, I mean, the morning one makes sense, but like, I don't know. Should I be flattered that you all feel so comfortable around me that you can sleep? Or should I be sad that I'm that boring that nobody wants to stay awake during my stream? Everyone's just like, ugh, gross. Gene, this guy? No, I'd rather sleep. Honestly, though, like, actually, no, I can't even say it, because why would you come into my stream repeatedly if you didn't like me? Yeah? You feel me? Be flattered? Okay, I'll be flattered. We keep coming back. Stockholm Syndrome is a real thing. It's a true thing, chat. It's very real. So real, in fact. I think all of you have it. You've just been here so long. No, it's constant sunken cost fallacy. Y'all have put so much time into the stream. You're like, oh, I gotta keep going, and because if I don't get Gene to be big, then he doesn't matter. Da 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 da. Vanya, you're going to keep drinking water until your body accommodates it. You have to. It's okay. Here we go. Chat. We're going to explain this real quick. We're going to explain this. Okay? So, have you ever watered a plant, chat? Did you know that if you try to water... No. If you water a dry plant, the water goes straight through it, right? Like it just... all the way through it. And it will not absorb the water fast enough. You have to soak the plant until it picks up the water to become hydrated and full and luscious. Our bodies are the same. If you have not been filling your bodies with enough water, you're going to drink it, you're going to immediately pee it out. You got to keep filling it up until eventually the body gets used to it and learns how to hold the water. So chat. Drink water. Get used to drinking water, a lot of water regularly, and eventually, what am I saying? We got to waterboard Vanya. No, hey, no, we're not waterboarding Vanya. We're going to put Vanya in the bathtub. We're just going to let them soak. It's going to be fine. And then we just leave them there for a whole... Come back and Vanya's like a raisin. So wrinkly. Exactly. We're soaking Vanya in the box. Anyone else think it's weird that our fingers wrinkle? I'm not high, chat, but like, anybody think it's weird our fingers wrinkle when they get wet? I mean, like, why? And I know science doesn't have an answer. They're like, oh, it increases your grip strength, or like increases your... No, that's what they say. They say it increases friction, and it does. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would our body have a thing to increase our ability to grip? Like, how would that evolutionarily happen? I know it does, but like, how would that evolutionarily happen? Because we were like little... Do geckos wrinkle? Do geckos wrinkle? Wait, do geckos wrinkle? Do geckos wrinkle? This is very important to me. Can I get a gecko wet and will it wrinkle? Oh. That's no fair. See, but no, like, do monkeys wrinkle? Do monkeys' fingers wrinkle? I understand, like, how it can work, but, like, it doesn't make, like, evolution, you survive better, right? Unless maybe there was a real bad issue with, like, wet trees and all the monkeys kept sliding out of the trees, and that's why all the non-wrinkly finger guys died. But this is important to me, Chad. I need to know more about... Hi, all. Hi. I'm wide awake now. Why are you awake? Go to sleep. Why, are you thinking about the wrinkly fingers too? Did the wrinkly fingers wake you up? Nap time. Fringles. Finger rolls. Fingerlos. Fingies. I woke you... How'd I wake you up? Because it concerns me. Like, I feel like they don't make sense. I feel like they don't make sense. Like, wrinkly, like fingers getting wet and wrinkling doesn't make sense evolutionarily. And it makes me need. Only macaws? Valid. Did you know the bonobo ape? Anyways, we're not going to talk about the bonobos. Or the chimpanzee wars. That happened, by the way. Apes have fought war, and it's great. I mean, it's not great. It's not great. But the fact that chimpanzees, I think it was chimpanzees, have had a war is amazing to me. like taking captives and attacking areas. We taught them so well, Chad. They learned so well. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey commit atrocities against other people of its own species. Well, I mean, yeah, no. I get appendixes and I get all of that, and like, but we still don't. We have the thought of like, oh, it's used for raw meat and stuff. Well, we're not 100% sure either. And I'm not baby nose and the fingers, but like the wrinkly just seems weird. Okay, like, I mean, it still has use. It just feels weird, like that would happen. I want to see a fish wrinkle. I want to see dogs wrinkle when they're wet. Why do we do it? And why is it our hands? Why is it not other parts? How does it work? It's because cells have water and the outside bathtub has no salt, so the cells try to balance the mineral difference, so cells lose water with wrinkle. But why not my arm? Why would my arm wrinkle? But I like that. That gives me more insight. Yeah, like why aren't my arms wrinkling? Or why is my face not wrinkling when I get wet? Why is it my hands? What's the dangling part of the throat? Make you throw up. Osmosis? Osmosis Jones? I understand now, chat. It's a little blue guy inside of you. Mm-mm-mm. Hands and feet, too. I mean, like, feet make sense because hands do. But why is it nothing else? That's what bothers me. There should be more. There should be more of me wrinkling. The meat needs to fall off the... I want more of me to wrinkle, okay, chat? I want to get in the water, and I want to look like an old man.
You want a little blue guy inside you.
Well, you don't know me. I might use my face for climbing. I just think it'd be really, really funny that every single commercial of like showering, it's like, oh, look how hot she is. You're like, you can tell they didn't use a real shower because her face didn't wrinkle. Like, you see? My brain is smooth. You're right. No valleys or bumps. No. That's wait. No. No valleys. No valleys and bumps, no ridges and lumps. Smooth. Yes.
You know what color the nuts are of a blue guy?
Blue? I'm guessing? I'm so... What? Huh? I'm assuming they're blue. Am I wrong? Huh. Wait, we're about to see something. I'm ready. Oh, it's a redeem. You have to use the redeem. Boop, 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 boop. AI says fingers shrivel because the calluses of the fingers and toes swell due to water absorption. The process is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. It's not dangerous, but may not occur damaged nerves. The shriveled air skin is adaptation that facilities giving. Because the calluses, the fingers and toes swell up, so it's the calluses. So you're telling me if my face got calloused? No, they just went on to Google, and Google automatically answered. That's fine. Okay, so if I were to callus my face, hypothetically, I could wrinkle, is what you're telling me. Ooh, stretch. Thank you. And hydrate. Hi, Pink. Okay. I'm not saying I want to callus my face. I'm just like, can I callus? No, don't callus. Okay. If I callus my knees, there we go. Can I hypothetically? You don't know if I need to grip something with my knees or my face. I don't want it. I just want answers. Actually, wait. Do my knees wrinkle? I'm pretty sure I probably have calluses on my knees. That's actually legitimate. I could go do that. I should check to see if my knees wrinkle. If my knees wrinkle, then we have our answer. Do 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 do.
I don't want sleep. I want answers.
I feel that. I feel that. Me too. Okay. So, what are we doing? Love the bio content. Thank you. I mean, like, normally this is not what we talk about streams. What did you have planned then, puppy? Not a dog. But if I was a dog, I don't know. I legitimately don't know. The earlier stream was so stressful on me with the audio issues that my brain is completely shut off, and every thought before this moment is completely gone. I mean, I don't know. I have zero thoughts. There is nothing left in my brain now. Help. Help, save me. Stop what? Stop whispering. Okay. Just keep talking. I got this. But speaking of sleep, I am spent. Just got home and gonna nap. Okay, I believe in you. Sleep well. I love you more. Fight me if you disagree. Oh, I lagged. Chat, I broke. Oh, hi. Thank you for the head pads. The head pads broke me. Have oralism? Oralism. I don't know what oralism is. Do 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 do. Ma ma bum 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 ma na 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 na. Bum ma dum bum 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 going to scroll through some stuff to see what we have. Earlier in... But I don't know what oralism is.
Earlier in Gen Chat on your Discord, we voted to set the world on fire, then did in fact start the process of setting the world on fire. Your Discord.
Don't set the world on fire. Do not set the world on fire. Not allowed. Not allowed. Do not set the world on fire. The world needs to stay on fire. Okay? You're not allowed to set the world on fire. I need the world in one piece because the One Piece is real. I need the world in one piece so that, you know, I can that might be a hand holding a leash. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I don't want to set the world on fire. Welcome back, Barry. I just want to start a flame in your heart. If I had my son, that would be you. No one else would do. Why did everybody do the Discord redeem at the same time? I lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I could be the one you're dreaming of, believe me. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start. Anyways, what's up, Micah? Why'd you say Gene? Okay, I'm still scrolling through games trying to see if I can find one. Japan stigmatized property. What is this? That might be good. That looks freaky. What are we thinking? Are we thinking horror or are we thinking chill? What kind of vibes are we feeling? You want chill? We could just do Minecraft. We could just do Minecraft. That is always an option. We're still working our way through Minecraft. Everybody wants to be chill. Have I been too energetic for y'all? What's in the secret room? Okay. Okay, we can play some Minecraft just for all of y'all, all right? Boop-a-doop-boop. La da 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 la da 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 da. It's out to get you. There's a killer green. Da 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 da. I'm gonna eat chat. Chat, I'm going to eat you. Get eaten, chat. Chat, I will eat you and you'll have to deal with it. No, 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 no. Ba-da-da-da-da. Shoost, 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 shoost. We're back for now. For now. But if stream messes up, let me know, okay, everybody? You let me know. If audio cuts out, you'll let me know. And if audio doesn't cut out, I guess, you know. Fine. I will show you all the secret room, okay? I will show you all the secret room for $25. $25. I'm kidding. Don't give me $25. I'm kidding. Do not give me $25. I do not actually want your money. Wait, come on, Minecraft. Come on. Come on. Nap time. Nap time. Nap time. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Nap time. Don't spoil it. Secret. Secret. It's a secret. Secret tunnel, secret tunnel. Oh, no, no, no. Secret, 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 secret tunnel. There it is. Chat, can you hear game? Can we hear game? Perfect. All right, welcome to the game. We can turn on. I kind of want to hear what the animals sound like. Oh, thank you, Raven. All right, we're gonna turn on the. So we're gonna turn on the hostile mouse to 50. Okay, so there's one chicken. There's the small group of chickens. Okay. Thank you for the check-in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nope, you're still in the bucket. We did lose that villager, by the way. Remember the one that I was talking to already? Why are they clicking? Is that their feet? Is that the noise of their feet? Why can I hear? Oh! Oh! Oh, that's so bad. That's so... I hate that. Why are there feet sounds? Why? Why feet sounds? Why are they clickety clacks? Okay. Our last attempt to see if everything's okay. All right. Tell me if you can hear any of this music. Oh, it's not being picked up yet. Yes, I alt-tabbed. Why? Out. Did my audio cut out when I alt-tabbed? Wait. Hey. No. Vanya. Okay. Chat, I'm going to do something real quick. So I'm going to keep talking, and as soon as you hear me stop talking, you say, you stop talking. There's no noise, okay? Ready? All right, so I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep talking. Oh my God, I figured out what it is. I figured it out. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. I am such an idiot. I am such an idiot. Vanya, I love you. I love you so much. You are a genius. You are a genius. Hi, everybody. My name's LuckyJene, and I'm LuckyJene, and I'm a boy failure. And what I found out today is that if you turn on push to mute and you don't assign a button, guess what? It just might so happen to be the alt button. So whenever you alt tab and your vocals cut out and you're like, oh my God, why can't I hear anything? It's because you put on a freaking mute button. Ah! Anyways. I forgot about that until this very second. No, yeah. All it is alt. All it is me hitting alt. That's all it is. So I just don't hit the alt button. Or remember, when I press it, it's pushed to mute. I mean, like, that's fine. It's smart to have. I just, I forgot that y'all don't know how emotionally distressed... Your lucky Karamia told me not to kill the children. Your lucky Karamia told me not to kill the children. I have to kill the children. I have to kill the children. Y'all had a chance. Y'all had a chance. Y'all had a chance. Y'all didn't have to come out here. But I can't even leave here. There's too many of you. Chat, they broke my... Okay. No, I couldn't get through them because they were all blocking the door. Hey, I'm glad you had a mini... No, I'm not glad you had a mini heart attack. Okay, no, but so hear me out. Hear me out, chat. Like, my audio is like my big selling point, right? Like, my voice is my big selling point. So when audio issues don't cry about the dead chickens. They're virtual and not real. Next, you're gonna cry about the ones that I keep in a cage. Here. What was your last message? I have to alt-tab so I can look at your message. Give me a second. Why are we going to start sobbing, Vanya? I said you're super smart. I said how smart you are. Why? I mean, I almost started crying. I've heard my chickens down on a plate. Exactly, me too. Okay, I need seed. Chat, give me seed. Okay. You know, I love you, Vanya. That is something I cannot help you with. But if you feel bad because I have a different mood, it's not your fault. You cannot blame yourself for my mood, okay? You cannot blame yourself for my mood. Chickens, you're gonna drown yourself. You're gonna drown me. You're gonna drown me. Please let me out. Please let me out. Please let me out. Chickens, let me out. Let me out, chickens. I don't want to drown. Well, Vanya, you need to work on that. Like, you cannot go through life like that. There we go. Okay. Why do you hate the chickens? There we go. Oh, right. Hi, Gene. The thing that I've had the entire time you've been streaming, that you've known I've had for a long time, obviously. Chickens are fine. But if you have a bird phobia, yeah, no, I get it. That makes sense. Hey, who needs a knife? Me. I was. Oh, wait, why are you about to have a heart attack? Sorry. Draconian, why are you going to have a heart attack? I'm curious about your heart attack now. I'm going to leave the seeds here just in case so I can get them next time. That is smart, honeydew. I don't have carpet, and I have no way of making carpet right now. One day I'll be able to get carpet. Yeah, exactly, my 2-string that I need. Yeah, but I need it for bow. Because I have to remake my bow every once in a while. Valid, though. Valid rant. There's Zinka. Oh, chat, do you want to see? Do you want to see? Do you want to see the secret tunnel? I have to grab some supplies first. Okay. It takes a while to go through it, so, you know, be ready for that. I should do it. Okay. Secret tunnel, secret tunnel. Bloop, bloop. All right, I need stick. That'll do for now. Here we go. All right. So strap in, chat. Anyways, how's everybody doing? Do you like sandwiches, chat? What's your favorite kind of sandwich? I like sandwiches. Honestly, sandwiches, I will say, are one of the best things of all time. So, Oppressed, I'm sorry you're depressed. I'm hungry. You should get a sandwich. Do you want me to make you something? No. Same question. You can still answer both of them. Nap time, I hate you. Sandwiches are one of the greatest culinary things. Peanut butter, I will make you some peanut butter. Big Mac, I say to take you. It is a sandwich. It's a bad sandwich, but it is. I can make you good gluten-free bread. I actually have good gluten-free bread, so, you know. Suck on that one, nerd. Meatball subs are legit. Meatball subs are legit. Okay, come visit me. If you go to an anime convention, go to TwitchCon next year, not this year, next year, I'll make you a sandwich. I'll bring you gluten-free bread. Okay? Enjoy your taro milk. Homemade burgers are great. Here it is, chat. What am I a liar about? What do you mean the other half? All right. Hello. Why are you worried? It's a subwall. Oh, I don't like that. Let me fix that. Procrastinating my flute pranks. You could do it. Go do it. You should definitely do it. Do it. Go to your flute. Go to your flute. You can do it. I believe in you. You're gonna have lots of fun doing your flute. Hello, Moreau. Enjoy your flute. You got this, sweet Yuki. You're not dead. She's just the sub wall. Hello, Full Metal Brookie. What's up? What's the question mark for? I can't believe that, by the way, that it was just the y'all button. Anyway, so that's what this room was for. This is where we're going to put all the subs. I mean, to be fair, I already am. Go right? Okay, I'll go right. Got it. Go left. Okay. That's just a dead end, though. Huh. Anyway, so that's the secret room. That's where we're going to put subs and stuff. Huh? Oh, it's too late. I already went this way. It's fine, chat. What? What's wrong? What's wrong? That's fine, chat. Look, it's so far back. I can't, like, it's too tight. I can't turn around. Do you see? I can't turn. See, the walls are too tight. I have to make it all the way to the end to go back. I can't turn around. I don't know what you're talking about. There's not more. There's not more. It's definitely not more. It's definitely not flooded over there. God, I can't believe you're so crazy. Why are you so crazy? You're acting so crazy right now. Do we need to get somebody to help you? Anyways. So crazy. You're like so crazy. That was their old thing. Their new thing is denying it. So crazy. So crazy. 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 My brain makes just... That's awful fun, yeah. Crazy. Really? Hey, I am proud of you. I'm always proud of you, Aiko. You do amazing work. You don't give yourself enough credit for the amazing work you do. I need to do this. Okay, we're ready, chat. Conspiracy. Oh, don't stay up all night. Why are we staying up all night? Wait, where is it? There it is. Okay, somewhere out here. Insomnia. I'm immediately lost. We're not going through here, chat. I'm gonna get lost again. I don't want to get lost. Hoshi? Wait, what about Hoshi? Hoshi's here? Oh, hey, Hoshi. Thank you for the headpads. Hi, Hoshi. Hello, lovely. How you doing? Alright, we're gonna get gravel, chat. I should make a shovel. Oh, I have a shovel. Nice. I gotta put Hoshi in the wall. You're blank? Oh. Like, Well, I hope you're okay. That is not how I wanted that to go. Okay, we're gonna try to do this. There it is. That'll do. I have many people. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go through, like, I'm gonna pull down my sub list, and then I'm just gonna go put everybody on the wall. It's just gonna take me a while. I'm gonna need a lot of materials to do it, but hey, that means I get to play off stream, you know? I've heard people have been picking up that quirk, by the way, that which is great. I'm invading your brain, chat. I'll live in your mind forever, and I'm never gonna go away. I'll invade your brain. Nice. I'll outstim your stims. I'm safe. Sir, your engine is flooded.
Sir, your engine is flooded.
There we go. I love having a bow. Ooh, what's this? Fire protection. Do not. Hey, Carmilla, what's your power level?
What's your
power level like?
Power level?
Carmilla, what's your power level like, Carmilla? Carmilla, what's your power level? It's because Casey hates me. Ah! He does soundboard. I am not a soundboard. I am bored of sound. We need better armor. I could not see that first skeleton. I don't know where it came from or where it was hitting me from. What happened? Lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody. My own. Whoa. I'm lonely. Don't bonk me. Why'd you bonk me? Why'd you bonk? So rude. Jeez, I cannot believe the push to mute. The push to mute. Ah! It's gonna drive me insane. My dome is... What's this? What's what? Oh no. I'm such a good doggy.
You say
How dare
umami.
you?
What are we? Chopped liver.
Oh, what's this? I just still can't believe that it was a button. Dude. Chat. Hello, flower. Chat. What's this? What is this?
Gene, wish me luck. I have to go to my little sister's netball meeting.
What is this?
It's gonna be boring.
I'll have fun. What is this? What do you mean end dungeon? What do you mean end dungeon? No, it's a trial chamber. That's not the end dungeon, right? I thought it was different. No. What? There's no way. I've never seen one of these before. Hey, Sif. Yeah, no. So this is not the end, right? It's a trial chamber. Okay, I thought so. I've never seen a trial chamber before, though. What are trial chambers? How do they work? Deadly? Go in now? Go in now. In now, you say? Gene, great idea. Go in now, right? Go in. Fight. Fight them all. Win. Become stronger. Achieve glory. Achieve glory. That's what I hear, right? You believe in me. You have so much faith in me. Oh. You just have so much faith in me. Do you think I can do anything? How about you achieve some bit... I was about to say the swear. Nobody noticed me barking earlier this morning. Everyone's... I should get iron armor first. I mean, what kind of plebeian are you? Telling me to take off my glowing copper armor. But don't you see how powerful and shiny it makes me? My attacks don't affect you. Who decided that? Sorry. Yo. Don't pick up my shovel. Rude. Vanya, you'll get hairball. I thought you were accusing Vanya of having hairy balls. What? No, how? I had the shield up! Sorry, 1 second, chat. Okay. Anyways. There we go. I'm gonna call this world shield. I am sorry, chat. I am sorry for that. Wait, sub? Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you so much for the redeem. 15 minutes, let's go. Alexa, 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Do you want to know what's on the other side of the tunnel? It was a flooded passage. It opened up into a underground flooded area that I was going to build into, but I hadn't yet. I apologize for the anger, by the way. Are y'all good? I'm gonna make sure I didn't scare anybody. You're good? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't be sad. You know, I've learned. I've learned, chat. I've learned. Aw, I'm sorry, Allie. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I'll do better this coming time, okay? There was a dog. Did you see how much damage he did, though? I think he had an enchanted bow that just had a lot of damage on it. Because I went from, like, full health to, like, 3 health in a second, so... Which is a little BS, by the way. I'm so annoyed by skeletons at this point. If that is a skeleton I just heard, I'm hunting it down and I'm... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Move your silly little bone skeleton. Come on. I hear you. Where are you? I must kill this skeleton. I forgot what kind of Minecraft I'm playing. It's right here. Give me your damn bones. Give me your bones, 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 give me your bones. Give me bones, 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 give me bones. I need the bones, I need the bones. I'm taking your bones, I'm taking your bones, I'm taking your bones, I'm taking your bones. Yes. Taking your bones, taking your bones, taking your bones, taking your bones. My bones, my bones, my bones, my bones, my bones. Mine, 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 mine. Bones, bones, bones. No!
Fun fact. When my female best friend was drunk, she wore a maid dress and said ara ara and uwu. When she was sober, she wanted me to delete the evidence.
We got this, we got this. Alexa, stop timer.
15-minute timer canceled.
Alexa, set a 15-minute timer.
15 minutes, starting now.
Oh my god, the spam bot tried to make it in chat. Good bot. Everybody say good bot. Praise the bot, chat. Chat, I need moral encouragement as well. Can you all say that I'm good? Can you give me... Can you all give me moral encouragement? Good, Gene. You think I'm good? You're wrong. Evil. Only have to beg for it. Dude, I do not get paid enough. That's a $5 request right there. And tell me that you're not mad at me for dying. Tell me you're not mad at me for losing that really cool hardcore world. Okay, thank you. Vanya, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please do not. Shrub. You're fuming. I'm sorry. I tried really hard and I didn't realize they were gonna hit me. You're disappointed. That's even worse. I didn't realize they were gonna hit me over my shield. I don't know how they did that. If I'd known, I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. Okay? Don't feel bad. Why'd you feel bad? Chat, it's called acting. I know, I kind of regret losing that world, but it is what it is. You know, you can't really do much of it. Together forever. On the subway. This one, though, will never die in. I will never die in this world. I won't even get close. You're weak to emotions? Oh, yeah. I'm not really feeling the best. Do you think you could give me like $300? It'd make me feel a lot better. Oh, no, the bones. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't... Thank you for the check-in, Dwarf. I'll give you $300 to give to me. There we go. That sounds fair. That sounds fair. It's okay, Dwarf. The new Has Been Hotel song? What's the song? How's it go? Does it go, you're a winner, baby. Gosh darn freaking winner. Unfortunately. Gravity. I wanted a skeleton so I could get its bones so I could give it to a dog so I could have a dog. Because, Chan, if we had a dog, this would be all over. We would be amazing. All I need is a dog. Somehow, if I can... Chat, what is more important, chicken or dog? I think dog. We're hunting a dog, chat. We're hunting dogs, chat. We're hunting dogs. Yeah, but I can eat myself, too. Girl, I can eat a lot more than chickens. Alexa, how much time left on timer?
You have 11 minutes left on your 15-minute timer.
Well, what have we here? Santa Claus, oh, I'm really scared. It's the other one everybody is talking about. You're joking, I can't believe my eyes. You're joking, you gotta be, this can't be the right guy. He's ugly, he's ancient, I don't know which is worse. I might just spin the seam now if I don't lie laughing first. Mr. Oogie Boogie says, draw up a closet, and you better pay attention now, because I'm a booger bear. Yeah, okay, so, but do you know what's funny? Allie? Because you put in your 2 weeks notice and you're not a mod right now, that means that you accidentally just made yourself a mod. So congratulations on your mod position. Give me a second. Oh, hey, here's where we're going to go down. Congrats. I'm becoming a mod. Woo! Yeah, you're a mod now. Sorry. So that happens. We had an empty spot and you're filling it, so congrats. So proud of you. GG's. Woo-woo. That's right. Everybody cheer for Allie for being the new mod. Congratulations. Oh, no, I did not. I'm telling Allie now. Allie's the new mod now. Bet? Okay, cool. No. If brain's gone. No more words. All my words are gone. The moo-moos. Chat, if you don't walk around and claim the cows as being your cows, are you really living life? When you see a cow, you better go, that's my cow. You hear me? Still haven't seen a dog. No, you have to claim them individually. You can only claim. La vaca moo. La vaca moo. You calling me fat? Vonnie, you calling me fat? I'm gonna go eat my feelings. Hey, town. That's what I'm looking for. Hello, town. Alexa, how much time left on timer?
You have 7 minutes and 50 seconds.
Vanya, I know you're not calling me fat. Even though I know you want to. Call him Brahmin. Call me Brahman. It's me, I'm Brahman. I wear. What, you're eating on Discord? Bet. I'm eating nothing. I already ate I ate a big lunch and breakfast, and so, I want to... Don't leave me. Don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a place for you. That's not fair. Where's my cheesecake? Carnia, did you bring me back some cheesecake? Hey, I'm proud of you. Good job. Ruff. Give me this box. Oh, hey. Emerald. Maybe we can find something that's worth exchanging. What do you got? What you got, man? Carrots and beets? Awful. What do you got? Brick. Who wants brick? No, sorry, everybody come back here. Well, apparently I sent them all away. Hello, Gunny Boy. How you doing? Oh, I thought I would call them there. Well, now we know. Because I'm dumb. 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 I'm doing great. I'm glad to hear that. Are you doing as great as a person who figured out that their sound issue was caused by themselves because they're an idiot? Because that's what I did. Because I'm an idiot. Because I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. But you know what that does me, though? I can say words like, you know what? You. That's right, chat. You. I didn't say anything. At least I'm pretty. Pretty ugly. Chat, we're living there. Chat, we're living there. Chat, we're living there. Okay, I take it back. At least I lied. Flip. Wow. Homie. All right, I need wood. By believing in myself through the power of imagination, I'm going to defeat you through the power of friendship. And this gun I found. Through the power of friendship and this gun I found, I will defeat you. You'll never win. Magnus. I don't know. I can make it. I'll live. Jay, you don't understand. I'm just built different. I'm built like that, chat. Oh, I live. Ah! Sorry. Don't worry what that noise was. I'm just built different. Watch this, chat. I'm going to dig straight down here, and I'm going to watch this. Watch this. Whoo. Straight down. No worries. Ooh. Lived. You got a ghost? What are you ghosting to? Bye, miss you. Chat, they hated us. I couldn't sleep. It does not. It does not count as underground. You're going down with me. Oh, you're coming with me. Thank you for checking in. You're my best friend. We're having tacos later. I said, you're my best friend. We're having tacos. I said, you're my best friend. We're having tacos later. You're going to test every drop for me first, okay? Carmia, it could. But... you know it don't. You know it doesn't. Thank you for the lurk. I don't want to grab a snack, actually. I'm a little hungry. Chat, would you let me take a break and grab a snack? Hi, Boy Wally. How you doing? Can I take a little break? Can I get a snack? All right, we'll put the game on for a little bit. Oh, hey, what good timing. Hello, 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 hello. Wait a second, chat. Wait a second. Give me a second. Give me a split second. Look. Palmo, lovely to see you. Hello, Raiders. Hello, Raiders. I just need you to come with me real quick. I got to show you something, okay? Show you something. Oh, wait, sorry, chat. I'm just going to show you something real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second while I show you something. Okay. And they won. Congratulations, Palmo. Here. I'm just going to take you. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So. So, lovely Raiders. This is the basement. Isn't it pretty? Don't you love the basement? Isn't it gorgeous? I had it remodeled recently. Yeah. So I just need you all just to stay right there. Be careful, Raiders. No. Hey, stop boarding the Raiders. There's nothing here. I'm just gonna have you step back a few steps, okay? Just a little bit further. It's fine. And why would you listen to me? I mean, welcome. I hope you enjoy being here. You're probably gonna be here for a little while, but it's fine. We have snacks. I just got snacks. We have gummy worms, and I have Cheez-Its, and I have chocolate. So it's fine. You'll be fine. You'll live healthily, right? Hey. Don't you dare try to escape. No. You live here now. You don't get to leave.
The poor raiders have been caged by the red puppy. Best of luck surviving with these rabid chatters.
Chat, don't eat them. Don't eat the new people. You have to leave them alive, okay? You have to. We just got them. You can't already. No fires. No eating people, okay? Oh, yeah, we do have snacks. We have some snacks. It's good. And apparently I'm going to be like this now. But thank you for the follow. I love Goldtree, by the way. Goldtree is the best. Oh, well, yes. Congratulations on being locked in a cage. I hope you enjoy it, okay? Here. Oh, thank you for the headpads. I appreciate it. Also, I'm just going to shake the cage real quick. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Shake. Yeah, it's fine. All right. No. Okay, I'll put you back in the corner. There we go. Good chatters. What, do you like my headpads? Aren't they pretty? Aren't they cute? Anyways, what were we doing? All right, the Minecraft. But thank you. Hello, Raiders. My name's LuckyJene, and I hope you enjoy your time here, okay? You're stuck here forever now. What were you playing? What were you doing? Pomo. Yeah, hello. What were you playing, Pomo? Hello, Dazzy. How you doing? Wie geht's? Stay alive, my friend. I don't want you to die. You are going down with me. Just like chat, you don't have a choice. Baby steps. Oh, how's the game? Is it fun? You're trying to think of other ways? Oh, Jane. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, no. Jene, I get all the time. I don't know why it's Jene. Genie. Genie is at least cute. And at least has Gene, you know? Arf, such a cute little puppy. There you go for that one. And the, what is this? What is what? Don't call me Joan. Yeah, no, I got upset earlier today from getting shot in the face by a skeleton. How long do I have to do this voice again? 5 minutes? We're at 2 minutes? Perfect. Okay, you stay here. What are you confused about? Are you okay? Don't kick people in the stomach. Behave yourself. Be nice. Nap, stop eating people? That's fair. Nap, don't eat people. Do not eat people. Behave yourselves. You can't eat new people. They're good. Thank you, Pomo. Anyways, so how was the stream, everybody? Did you all like the baby steps? How's the game go? I've been meaning to try it out. That's fair. Are you animals? I mean, are you an animal? It's up to you. You have your own choices. You eat? What do you eat? Sheepers. I am so confused. That's alright. You're just lost. That's alright. You don't need to keep track of things. Just, you know, exist. Live. Live, laugh, love. But not in that order. Pick a different order. The original. Carmia, how are you doing, by the way? I wanted to check in on you. Are you still awake or have you fallen asleep? You've killed my sheep. My favorite sheep. Good checking in. What fallout? What do you mean fallout? Because I like checking in on you, Carmia. Do I have to have a reason to checking in on people? No, of course not. No, you're not going to have a crisis. I'm so sorry. I will not talk to you. Okay, I understand. I will talk to myself. Hello, me. Hello, Jean. How are you doing today? I'm pretty okay. You? Little warm right now. This computer's really heating up this room a lot, and genuinely, it's not the best feeling right now. Fair, very fair. Have you thought about maybe, you know, like having a computer that wasn't so hot? Yes, but then I couldn't run as many cool games as it can. Why are you scared? Don't be scared. Don't be scared, I won't hurt. I was told not to talk to Carmia, so I said I'd talk to myself. Don't be. Why'd you be scared? You ain't got nothing to be scared about. Stay here. Oh, here we go again. I think we've done it. Should I run? I mean, where are you going to run to? You're already stuck in a cage. I'll just put you back in the cage. It's okay. You're in your 60s. Don't talk about the heat. What do you... what do you mean, 60s? Hello? Girl, you're off by a lot. Thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciated. And welcome to the menagerie. I hear demons in the walls. Golshi! Golshi. Love Golshi. So close. For the cage, the clicker? Exactly. I mean, that's why we keep the cage around. I mean, look. The only way I'm going to hit partner is if I keep people kidnapped here, right? So that's what I'll do. To keep people locked in. Why else would you have a cage? I'm gonna give him a bed, by the way. That's your bed. Yeah. Because, you know, you have to hit, No, you see, you have to hit... Well, I'm a minor villain. I'm an F-tier villain. But I'm working on going up. But yeah, no, you gotta have, like, 70 viewer average to hit partner, right? And so for me to hit partner, I have to keep people here. And so I just decided, you know, lock them in the basement. And that way when the Twitch mods come in and be like, hey, do you have enough viewers? I'll be like, yeah, see, they're right here in my basement. Happy. Right, chat? You're happy, right? You're happy. Right? I said you're happy, right? I will get you Oreos. You can have Oreos. As long as you don't leave. I mean... It's not like you have much of a choice. Anyways. You don't have to eat the Oreos. I will get a blanket. I'll give you snacks. I'll get a blanket. I'll make it a nice place to stay, okay? I'll even give you a couch. Okay, we'll give you a futon. I'll get you like a college-style futon. Oh, no. No. There's no way out. There's no... You come in one way, and then you never leave. I mean, I occasionally send people off for raids, you know? To raid other streamers, maybe for supplies. But for the most part, no. Once you're in, you're in. I mean, if you promise to come back, maybe. I'll see what I can do. But you have to promise me you'll come back and that you won't stay gone for too long, okay? What activities? You don't need to do anything. Chat, what do you need to do except be here, huh? What's more important than being here? Laundry, college. You don't need to study. What are you studying for? You studying to find a better streamer? Is that what it is? Fine, I will let subs leave to make money. Hello, Zeko the puppy. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not jealous. I'm possessive. I need to hold on to people. I can share. I just need you to stay around. Look, I have my goals, and my goals, the more numbers there are, the better. Oh, because I need numbers. Plus, I mean, you walked in. I mean, if you didn't want to be kept in a cage, then why would you have come in? Sounds like this is on you, actually, so... yeah... it'll be fine, I promise. Exactly, no rent. I mean, there was an X on the floor, you just didn't look down. And chat warned you, I mean... at this point, can you really blame me? I mean, what would you have done? Zeko, how dare you? You're literally like the third person to have said that, Con. That's bad at the government? Yeah. Hey, I'll make sure your health care is taken care of. I'll make sure to clean your teeth. And make sure that you get lots of nutritious... make sure you get lots of food. I'll make sure you get some food. It'll be fine. Much sorrow. No sorrow. No sorrows. I have more than rice and beans. I have meat now. Hey, what's up? I lost the, I lost it. We're making a new one. Okay. You want sweets? I have gummy worms. I have gummy worms and Nutella cookies. I mean like beef. I have beef right now. And I have chocolate. I have beef and I have chicken. In the fridge. Right now. And I have a 2-pound bag of candy, chocolate, in the freezer. And we have ice cream. And I have yogurt. And I have a week's worth of meals. Plenty of food. I'll be fine. What do you mean Nutella's too sweet? Nap hates everything. Nap hates everything that should be loved. All right, I'll give you ice cream. I can make you ice cream, too. I'll make you fresh ice cream. Oh, that sounds so good, Echo. Aye. Did I get leather? I did get leather. Cool. Good. See, it's worthwhile staying. Mm-hmm. And anytime you come in, you can get more snackies. Stinky chat. Because somebody redeemed Sniffer. Somebody redeemed the sniffing remote. The redeem. And thank you for the redeem, by the way. It was requested. You just live here, don't you? Do you want some spread? Hey, you know what? You can have this bread. Enjoy. You didn't want it? No, okay. Fair enough. No, see, to see if you go bad, you take a person, you put them in water, and if they float to the top, that means they're bad. I mean, you can try. People have gone worse ways. No, I just need to check if you're bad. And if you float, you're bad, just like eggs. It's because that means that there's too much air in your head. Exactly. Carmia gets it. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm also a villain, so, you know, maybe I want you to be bad, huh? You ever think about that, chat? You ever think about what I want or what I need? No, you're so selfish. You only think of yourself. You shouldn't be scared. Not yet. I'm not officially registered yet, so once I get registered, then you can be scared. Well, no, I don't like it when you sacrifice each other because that means there's less of you. Stop setting each other on fire and sacrificing and or eating each other, and then it's fine. Robbery, burglary, murdering non-chatters. Hey. But what? But what? Well, no. We got to start small. Like, I'm going to rub like a convenience store at some point. But that's when we get the 3D model. It's going to be a while. Hey. You were late. You were late, weren't you? You know what that means, right? You know the rules. I'm accidentally opening VTube Studio twice. 1 second, chat. So, you were late. And I know, like, you know, you might have any sort of reason why you were late, but, like... yeah. I'm not gonna let you be late again. And now you get shaken. I'm gonna shake the cage. That's right. Get shaken. Get shaken. Get shaken. It's worth it. Well, I hope you feel better about yourself now. Are you gonna be late again? Are you gonna be late? Huh, Yukiko? I'll shake it again. Okay. Good. No, you're in jail. I locked you in the jail. See, you know how you can tell it's you in the jail? Because when I get closer, the cell walls don't move. It means you're in the jail. It's true, it's true. Big brain, big brain. You'll be back? I hope so. It's nice having you. Thank you for coming by. What am I doing? All right, we need to kind of establish something, and I'm looking for water, ideally. Food? Oh, I'm also eating food. You're right. I'm having a girl dinner. Oh. That's fair. Take some time. Come back when you're feeling it. I'll be here. No way. What are the chances? Hey. Reminder, chat. We're not allowed on the surface once we go down because we went down already. The only way for me to get water is like this, so I got lucky. How could you say that? What's my name? What's my name, chat? What's my name? Say my name. I'm lost. I'm lost. Janae. Janae! Run, Forrest, run. And I was running. Jenny. Jane. Oh. That's why none of you get gifted subs. Juan. What do you mean, Juan? Red dog. I mean, at least you're only half correct with that one. I am red. Thank you for the lyric spell. Oh. Clifford. Oh, jeez. Little does he know he lives here now. Ooh, spooky. Hello, sir. Hope you enjoy your bed back there. Does that mean you loved me so much I grew tall? Chad, if I sign out, will he despawn or will he stay spawned because of the bed? This is important to me. You don't know? Where the red ferns grow. The red ferns don't grow. They're lives. Ain't no such thing as a red fern. Prove it right now. Prove it to me right now. There's such a thing as a red fern. I don't believe them. I'm believing it. I've never seen one myself. It means they ain't real. True facts. True facts. I ain't never seen a red fern. That means it can't be real. Welcome back. How have you been? Did you miss me? You didn't miss me? Why not? You were gone for so long. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate it. Because you were so gone for so long. And I'm an incredible person. I deserve to be missed more. If you don't miss me, you're doing a disservice to me. That's true. But like, what does sense and logic have to do with anything? Well, you know what? Hey, I just met you. And this is crazy. But here's my number. So call me maybe. Howdy, Volaroo. How you doing? Oh, shit. Hey, what is up? How's everybody doing? Hello, 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 hello. No, chat. You know what this means, chat? You know what this means? Ivory, I want to show you something real quick. Can I show you something really cool? It's really fun. I promise.
Raiders, run.
Hey. So here. Give me. It's gonna take you down. Just 1 second. Sorry. So this is my new room. What do you think? Do you like it? And look, I'm gonna show you the best part of it. Okay. Okay, Raiders. So I need you to step back a little bit. A little bit further. Keep going. You're almost there. Oh, perfect. All right. I'm just gonna. 1 second. It's fine. Okay. That's better, isn't it? Welcome, Raiders. Welcome. You're lovely to see you. I'm LuckyJene. I'm a gambler, a writer, and a soon-to-be villain. And I've decided I need to keep more people here. So, yeah, hope you like it here. You're going to be here for a little while. Come here, though. Look. It's fine. See, the cage moves. I can swing the cage. Just don't get sick, okay? Just don't get sick. Yeah?
The cage has grown rather crammed. Chatters may be inclined to commit arson now.
Well, hopefully they don't. But hi, Ivory. How was the stream? What were you doing? What was your stream like? Was it good? Did you have a good one? Also, I can do this. And I can shake the cage. Look at that. Look at me shaking the cage. It's fine. It was good. What would you do? Oh, actually, has anybody given them a shout out? Shout out. Ivory, VT _. Oh, and we're going to do it. Oh, it didn't work. There it is. Resident Evil 3. Oh, how is that? Throw rocks at him. Don't throw rocks at me. See, I didn't like 3 that much, but are you having fun with it? I'm glad you are. I'm very glad you're having fun. I don't know. I think I got stuck. It's like 4 is peak. 4 is absolute peak. And then like 6 was fun. What was it? 5? No, 5 was fun. 6 was sorry. I cut off, didn't I? Okay. 5 was fun. 6 was interesting. 7 was amazing. 8 was pretty good. I think 7 was better than 8, but you know. But sorry, if you need a raid and run, feel free to do so. Thank you for bringing your lovely, lovely community here. And I hope you enjoy the stream. Look, I'm used to the fires at this point. You're going to burn yourselves down or you're going to burn yourself out. I mean, like, I don't know what you're burning with fuel, like, besides people, which is kind of hard. Thank you for the follow. Yes. But yeah. And stream went well. Now we have no blankets. Sleep well. And I will take care of your lovely viewers. Hello, lovely Ivory viewers. Did you all have fun while you're over there? Why don't you tell me a secret? Tell me a secret about Ivory. You can sit in the corner and behave yourself. Tell me a secret about Ivory quickly. Give me secrets. What is their weakness? If they were to have one weakness that I could put together to take them over, what would it be? No sacrifices, chat. Leon Kennedy is my weakness. She's small, so just step on her. You know what? Valid. Honestly, half the VTubers out there are just steppable. Puntable, honestly. Oh, thank you for the headbats. Thank you. All you have to do is be over like 5'2", and you're already taller than most of the VTubing population. Hey, chat. Do you remember when I said I couldn't find the crafting table? So I made another crafting table. I don't know if you can see it that well because we're in the dark. Okay. Sometimes I'm not very smart. That's generous. Yeah, I have my glasses on, even though they're like half broken. I'm not going to tell you all about the state of my glasses. Let's just say. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to watch you. I hope you know I'm going to give you a job. I don't know what job I'm going to give you yet, but I'm going to give you... There it is. Boop, boop, boop. Haha.
Gene didn't like RE3 because Nemesis wasn't chasing him to kill him, but to teach him how to shoot because he can't aim. That's why he plays Minecraft.
What do you mean? Wow, what was that? Mean? Oh, I have to make a bookshelf? Oh no, I have to make a bookshelf, chat. Oh, I have to make an entire bookshelf. Oh no. Why are you so mean to me? Why are you so mean to me? What am I called? Little Red? What do you mean, Little Red? I'm not Little Red. I've never been called Little Red in my entire life. It feels so good to be mean to you. What are you, a sadist? Girl. I'm worried about you. I didn't realize I should be so worried about you. I'm gonna turn my back on you. Apparently you're short. I'm not short. You've angered gremlins. That actually explains the height. You're all gremlins. We just gotta stop feeding you after night. Here's the thing. I'll just stop feeding you at late hours and you won't become gremlins anymore. He's 3 foot. Okay, Dar is 6'5". I'm 6'4". He can call me Little Red because I'm shorter than he is. Y'all are like 4'3". Ivory is barely 4 foot. So, yeah, 5'6". I'm sure. Because the numbers stick together. Is that why you guessed that one? Which used to be average girl height? Used to be. 6'7". 5'6". Nap time, you're not 6'7". You're not 6'7". Exactly like the gum.
Want a cool space fact? No one can hear you scream in space, Gene, but don't worry. They can still hear how bad your aim was in Resident Evil 3.
Did you even see me play Resident Evil 3? My aim was not that bad in Resident Evil 3. You didn't watch me play Resident Evil 3, did you? You just assuming. Or did you? And I just don't remember. Were you even there? You weren't even there. My aim was fine. I just hated having to fight like things over and over and over again and continuously having to kill them. I'm 5'4", I'm just a feisty gremlin. Exactly. Are you actually 4'10"? Are you actually 4'10"? Did I guess your tiny height correctly? I knew it. I knew it. You just give off the aura of a very, very small person. Like, I could put you on a bookshelf and you'd get scared. Put you on the top of the fridge and you'd never figure out how to get down. You'd have to call the fire department. Like a cat stuck in a tree. When are you going to bed? Is what it is, what it is, what it is. 6'1". There we go. Now we have some human height. That's the proper height, chat. Just grow a little bit more. Get a bit bigger. What do you mean I can't burn oak slab? Oh, blast furnace, right. Hey, Gene, you need a lot of coal. Maybe we could make coal from the wood that you have. Or maybe you could use the coal that you've had in the furnace this entire time. Oh, Gene. You are going to break me. Stop growing at 11? That's kind of funny. Smooth brain, yeah. No wrinkles or bumps. No valleys or lumps. Smooth. You're all bigger than me. Ooh. Be nice to yourself. I can be dumb and nice to myself. I'm just a himbo, chat. That's all it is. And being a himbo is a good thing to be. You don't have to be like you're beautiful the way you are. I know I'm gorgeous. Let me be dumb. I keep putting the wood in that bag, and I don't want to do that. What was what sound? I'm fine. I'm fine. We wonk. You also have to be nice to be a himbo. I am so nice. I am so nice, chat. I'm so nice. I'm so kind and sweet and don't cry. Don't cry. Hey, I'm getting there. I'm gonna get nice and buff, chat, and then I'm gonna post faceless selfies. And then I'm gonna start and I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Gonna start an only hams and only show off my hams. Locking people in the basement is not himbo energy. Yeah. Prove it. Thank you for the follow. Hey, I gave you snacks. That's nice. What if I gave you no snacks? That'd be mean. So that means snacks make me nice. Logic. You're in the cage for your safety. Because if you get out of that cage... I'm not going to continue that sentence. Yeah, you could get lost. Or worse, you could leave. I would never bribe. I also don't lie. I don't even know what lying means. Leeing? Leeing? What's leeing, chat? Oh, no, because I have things I gotta do outside of the cage. But don't worry, I left you a little TV so you can watch me. So, yeah. Yeah. No, I left friends. There's friends for you in there. They go, it's fine though. All you have to do is not touch them and they'll be fine. Oh, no. I lost Ronnie because I died. If naps would quit burning things, chat, then this would be a lot better. Oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, I do actually have to leave because I have singing lessons, chat. I'm sorry I've only been here for so... people. I don't mean to abandon you. I do have to do singing lessons. I am 6'4". So I'm going to send you off somewhere really, really quick. Let's not send you to ASMR, even though I love this ASMR artist. No way. Since you like Resident Evil so much, chat. Boop. All right, copy the raid message for me. And I will see you all next time, okay, sweeties? Mwah! You all be good. Love you all so very, very much. It was a lot of fun hanging out with all of you. And I'll see you all next time. Bye! And tell them I say bye, too, because I can't hang around. Bye!